When he's acting out being a cast iron skillet, you're like, I totally understand what you're saying, even though that makes no sense because cast iron skillets don't move. Welcome to Anxiety Twins. My name is Lee H. Tillman.
I'm Andrea Menchaca.
And we are a comedy couple married people that do stand-up comedy, and we have a podcast, and we talk about various things that happen in our life. And today we have mostly movies that we're going to talk about. The most recent thing we watched since the last podcast was The Lobster.
Yeah, I kind of felt like I've seen it before, but I don't know if it's one of those, like I saw little clips on
It's
Instagram
possible. It is a very memeable movie.
Yeah.
It like there are like just funny clips. Like there's like 30-second clips that are like really funny. So I could see people like posting that on TikTok.
There's a lot of stuff that never gets resolved. Yeah.
But also it's
what animal would you be?
A duck.
A duck?
Yeah.
Huh.
What? What's so?
I don't know. You don't seem like a duck to me.
What do I seem like?
Frog.
Frog?
Yeah.
I seem like a frog to you.
One of them fancy ones that have all the colors that
like a top hat?
Kill you if you touch them.
Oh, okay. So like a poisonous frog. I would be a poisonous frog in the Amazon or something.
Yeah.
What about me makes you feel like that I would be a frog? First of all, the movie The Lobster, if you haven't seen it, you are put into a camp. And if you're not in a relationship within like the next, I think it's 30 days or something like that, you get turned into an animal of your choosing. And in this movie, this guy chose to be a lobster.
And he never says that he chose to be a lobster because lobsters mate forever. But then that's also like a known fact, I feel like, that has to do with the plot, which is that people have to stay in a relationship to stay alive, basically.
So why would I be a poisonous frog?
I don't know. You just give poisonous frog vibes.
I just give poisonous frog vibes. What type of animal would you be?
Well, so like this is like a weird thing about the movies. They never explain like.
I mean, they
don't explain anything at all. But like the lady does say that a lot of people choose to be dogs, which is why there's so many dogs. And then there's other animals that are going extinct because nobody chooses to be those animals. But they never say like, are those animals that are also just animals that are not people that were turned into animals? Because if so, they could easily not go extinct if they're still just regular animals. And then also, if you choose to be a camel, for example, why don't they take you to the desert? They just like release the camel into that same area that they're in the same camp, which is like the forest with the beach. There's like a beachfront forest.
I think it's just a funny visual.
There's a lot of stuff that is like...
It's a funny bit, like there's something serious happening in the background. There's a camel walking by in the woods.
And then there's the pony, which is like, we know who she is because she was just turned into a pony. And like, just like, I would choose to be an animal that wouldn't be hunted or eaten.
Wasn't one of the guys chose to be an animal that there's no natural predators or something like that? I forgot what it was.
He ends up in a relationship, but he was talking about like if he were to be an animal, he would choose to be something that couldn't be eaten because lobster would get eaten right away.
Yeah, but he chose, I forgot what animal he chose, but he chose something that would
me too.
I don't know. Okay. But like the movie is nonsensical. That's the whole point of the movie.
It is very nonsensical.
Well, what did you think of the movie though?
I mean, I liked it. 2 stars.
Does it? That sounds like you didn't like the movie. I
didn't like it, I guess.
You didn't like it?
Just like, I don't know. I want answers.
What happened to all this whimsy that you're constantly talking about? Being whimsical and fun and going with the flow. The whole movie doesn't make sense.
Can we talk about the ending? What do you think happens at the end?
The end of the movie is he goes into a bathroom and he's supposed to blind himself so he can be like her. So the question is, did he actually do that or did he just leave? I don't think it matters.
I think he abandoned her.
Yeah, I think it's
at the restaurant.
Yeah, it's the whole movie is just the meditation on relationships.
I feel like the whole movie is more like, what would it be like if everybody was autistic? Because everybody is taking the rules very literally, and the fact that like you can only like he's blinding himself to be with her because you can't be in a relationship with someone unless you're exactly like them. Like that's what they take to mean that they're a match.
Yeah.
Like the guy that pretends to have a nosebleed all the time because his girlfriend has a nosebleed. Like there's no way that they could be together otherwise. They're like, here's the reason why they're together. And everybody was like, oh, well, obviously that's going to work because they're both get nosebleeds. So.
Yeah, but like this is an absurdist movie. It's not meant to be taken. So like that's the whole point of the, like you seem like you don't like the movie because it wasn't like you didn't get more answers. But like that's the whole point of the movie is that it's absurdist.
And then everybody is autistic because also the other part of the people that exist in this movie are the people that run away and live in the forest. And they have their own set of literal rules where if you dare to be like, these are the people that are not in a relationship and so they have to run away. But then they have the same kind of strict rules in the forest where if you do end up being in a relationship, you also get punished. So it's just like the complete opposite. And you would think because these people have already endured such rigid rules inside the regular society that they wouldn't create their own rigid oppositional rules. But they do, and that's what that makes the main character in that peril of like having to. Now he's both excluded from one society and the other, and he's just like out in the world figuring it out.
It's just these constant ideas that we in society make up for ourselves that you have to have someone by the time you're a certain age. I do like that he has like a point of view and he does like have a specific way that he does things. Like all of his movies.
Who is it?
Yorgos Lanthimos. And all of his movies, I think that may have been his first English language movie. But he has a very strict way of like everyone talks in a very flat demeanor.
That's the other thing.
That's kind of the point.
The dialogue is written like it was translated from German or something. What is he?
Greek.
From another language, and everybody talks like they're translated.
I feel like one of the most memes parts of the movie is that someone asked him where he was and he's like, I was masturbating behind that tree over there. Like it's just like a weird, that's such like the dialogue in this movie is so ridiculous, but they say it in such a flat manner. It's funny. Like that what makes it also very dark because like people are, being killed sometimes. I like that he had an idea and he just took it all the way and he didn't like, yeah, I'm going to make everybody talk the same way this entire movie. And, that's a choice that he made. I don't know. So you didn't enjoy the movie?
I mean, I appreciate it, but I'm fine without it. I don't know. I understand what he was trying to do.
Yeah, we saw Poor Little Things and The Lobster. I don't know if we've seen any of his other movies together. But you did like Poor Little Things.
I don't remember. Did I like it?
It seemed like you did.
I guess I like Emma Stone.
Okay.
She could have sold me on anything. But I mean, yeah, it's also very weird.
Yeah, all of his movies are that.
But I guess it's like this, you were saying Lobster was his first movie, so that was like a first.
Well, his first English language movie. He's made like, maybe 3 or 4 movies outside of that. But before that, the first movie I ever saw was a movie called Dogtooth. It's in his original language. And when you're watching it, because like I said, all of his movies are very weird. So when I'm watching it, I'm like, am I missing something in the dialogue? It seemed like something's missing in the translation. And then like...
It's not. That's just how it is.
And then, after a while, you're like, oh, this is just what it is. And then when you finally like click and understand what the movie is and what they're saying, like I thought it's amazing. Just because I do like somebody that just does something that's different. Like they have a decision. They're going to like do something weird and they're going to follow through the entire time. And
that's how people feel about... What's that guy that just did the special that you showed me the one clip about cast iron?
Oh, Chris Fleming? Oh,
yeah.
That might... No, I may be messing up. Is it Chris Fleming?
Yeah. He's doing something different.
Yeah. I've watched almost all of his movies, but his most recent one was Begonia that I saw that I enjoyed. I didn't think it was his best movie, but I enjoyed it. So, it sounds like you don't want to watch any more of his movies unless they star Emma
I do
Stone.
need to watch Begonia. It is
because it has Emma Stone in it. She's done like maybe 3 or 4 movies with him.
Yeah.
And she's on a very weird run. I think she should probably like take a pause and like start to do like other thing, work with another director.
Do a Hallmark movie.
Well, not that far.
Take 3 steps back.
But she's she's worked with him a few times, and it's they work great together. Mm. So you give it 2 stars.
Yeah.
I mean I really like. I'll give it 4 stars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I give it 4 stars. I like it. You're just not whimsical.
I just don't like to see people suffer, and the whole thing is just people suffering.
Yeah, yeah. There is a lot of that in a lot of his movies. There is, there is suffering.
Yeah, the whole thing is just like nobody will ever be happy.
What did you think of Chris Fleming? You didn't like it?
No, I liked it. I watched his whole special.
Okay.
That was like one of the first specials in years that I've seen the whole thing. Mm. And I really enjoyed it. He runs all around the stage. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Had you heard of him before I said anything?
Yeah. Where did I hear of him first?
I saw you did watch
that was
Michael
after.
Biglia.
I watched his interview with Michael Biglia after.
I haven't watched that.
No, but I know that he's been in stand-up for a long time, and he's just like different. Mm-hmm. So yeah, like I knew of him. Maybe I've seen clips on social media. And then you showed me that little bit with the cast iron, and then I just decided to watch the whole thing.
Yeah, I do. I feel like there's a lot of people that try to do what he's doing. And I've seen a lot of people fail. Like a lot of people just want to make like weird stuff.
Yeah. But that's just how he is. He's not posing as a weird.
Yeah. It is it's just, we were just talking about this, how we're kind of like, you see somebody doing something that you don't do and you want to do it. But at the end of the day, everything, as far as stand-up comedy, everything is the same. You do have to do the same things. And I think like what a lot of like quote unquote weird comics try to do is that they try to go up, do their weird thing. And if it doesn't work, they just do it again. It seems like he's really working on bits. And it's like, oh, that didn't work. That didn't get a laugh. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'll do this other thing. He's really like workshopping it. And I don't think everybody that's trying to do what he's doing is doing it, because it's hard to explain what he does, because it's something that doesn't make sense. Like if you were just to read what he's saying, it doesn't make sense. But in the moment, you're kind of like, yes, I completely understand what you're saying, even though it's nonsensical. Like the cast iron skillet, when he's acting out being a cast iron skillet, you're like, I totally understand what you're saying, even though that makes no sense because cast iron skillets don't move. But I do understand what you're saying. So it's just.
Are you saying that the people that are trying to be weird are just doing the weird part but not the joke part?
Yeah, they're doing the weird part without doing the work of like actually, oh, is this funny? Does this make sense? Does this connect?
Running around the stage is part of it.
Yeah,
it's not the whole thing.
It's not the whole thing. Exactly, yeah.
When he removes his sleeves, I was just like, that's so unnecessary. Yeah. But I was like, sure, why not?
I think. The last movie that we watched was the Spanish movie.
Oh, we watched Nosotros Los Nobles. What do you think? As a movie that you have to watch with subtitles and not me, because as many people know, I speak a lot of languages.
Yeah, in the other episode, I asked you. Oh, I forgot to mention. I should have mentioned this up top. This is episode 25, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Episode 25. This is our 25th episode. Yes. Nice round number. Yeah.
You always get upset when I say it's a round number.
The movie?
Last episode, you asked me if I like movies with subtitles.
And you talked around it for 3 to 5 minutes.
And I still didn't answer the question after you.
The answer is no, you don't enjoy movies with subtitles.
After off camera, you asked me 2 more times. And I still didn't answer you.
Because I asked you, how do you feel about movies with subtitles? And then you just bragged about knowing Spanish.
Yeah.
Like how, I know Spanish. So that doesn't come up very often.
No Spanish. I am Spanish.
Because if it's Italian, it's close.
I embody the lifestyle.
If it's these other languages, it's close enough to where I don't have to really.
Yeah. I know most everything.
But the answer actually is that no, you don't enjoy movies with subtitles.
Well, the answer is that I haven't seen many because I avoid them.
Mm-hmm. Or, so you don't enjoy?
But I don't know because I've been avoiding them. So it's like, how would I know? Mm-hmm. And then when they do have subtitles, a lot of the times I'll just try to figure it out without reading them because it's just like too fast. So I'm just like, I get enough.
Yeah.
Nosotros Los Nobles.
What's the first word?
Nosotros.
Nosotros? What's that mean?
Us.
Nosotros. Second word?
Los
Nobles.
Nobles.
Us the nobles?
Mm-hmm.
We the nobles.
Mm-hmm. Nobles, like the rich.
Rich, yeah.
It's a joke off of an old movie called Nosotros Los Pobres by Pedro Infante. Like, it's a very known classic Mexican movie, and it's about people that are poor. And then in this version is the exact opposite. Yeah.
I saw at the end that they said it was based on something else, but I get maybe that's what they were talking about. Because I was thinking like maybe it was a remake of something else.
I don't think so, but I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, when I first started watching, I had like a lot of different emotions when this movie.
Okay.
So when I first started watching, I was like, oh, this is a pretty basic. One rich father who has a bunch of kids who are screw ups, which is what happens a lot during generations. Like one person works hard to, get to the top, and then they get to the top and then they have kids and they're spoiled and they don't, they don't do anything.
They don't appreciate it.
Yeah, they don't appreciate anything. So he's a rich guy, has kids that are 3 different types of screw ups. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I need to teach them a lesson. So he fakes like he lost all of his money. So now they have to live and have to get a real job. And then they appreciate it. And then they understand all the things that their father went through. And I'm like, okay, well, that's all right. I know the first 10 minutes of this movie, I think I got what's going to happen. So I was like, all right, whatever. But then eventually I was like, okay, because they started like explaining like the different things about the different kids. Like his daughter is bulimic.
Well, they get to know each other by actually living together in close quarters.
They get to know things about each other. So like you find out like the daughter is bulimic, which is, something that I don't think a lot of movies of that type would even talk about or even touch. So I was like, okay, that's interesting. Then you find out one of the older brothers is dyslexic. I'm like, okay, well, that's something. The third brother didn't really have, he seemed like he was just an extra.
He didn't really have an arc.
Yeah, like it was.
But to be fair, that is like quintessential third child, though. Like he's just kind of forgotten.
Yeah, the youngest kid, no one cares.
He's just a little one.
Yeah, but basically, his problem, I guess, was that he was having sex with older women, which
and he finally at the end gets
he actually gets a real girlfriend, which is like I don't know if that's a really. Well,
I think what they could have talked about there is like the fact that he lost his mom, and it was probably like weird mommy issues, and just kind of like being left without any kind of parental guidance, because they do talk about how his dad is not really there for them because he's working and he just pays people to take care of them. So that's kind of what I thought that was, but they don't really talk about it.
Yeah, they kind of forget about him. It is kind of weird. He kind of disappears throughout the middle of the movie, and just kind of like he has an arc, and then we're just kind of like, all right, I guess.
But that is what happens to the third child, though.
Yeah, I guess so. People just forget about the youngest.
Yeah. And also, he wasn't really like that fucked up. Like every time they're all like discussing what's going on, he's like, "I knew she was bulimic." He's like, "I knew that too." Like he's like more present than most of them. Like nobody pays attention to him.
So by the middle of the movie, I'm like, okay, they're touching on things that normally this type of movie wouldn't touch on. So I think, okay, that's interesting. But then they get to the end with the blackmail, which I thought was just like. It was silly. So basically, the daughter's fiance is this guy who's going through, I guess he's avoiding taxes or something. So he owes a bunch of money. So he's trying to marry her because he knows that she's rich, and he's trying to like get all of her money so he can pay his taxes and, live whatever life he wants to live. So he finds out that the father is actually lying about them being poor. So he tries to blackmail the father if you don't let me marry your daughter, then I'm going to tell them about all the terrible things that you just did. Like you made them live in this house, even though they didn't need to do that. And you get to the blackmail, and I'm like, okay, that's not a good enough reason to blackmail. Like he had to tell them eventually that he was lying to them, because what was he going to do? Like make up, be like, oh, I'm sorry we went poor and I just struck gold and now we're rich again. So, hey, yay, we don't have to worry about anything. Like, I'm sure he had to have an end goal or something, like or either he was just going to tell them that he was lying the whole time. So it just felt like a fake reason to have like this resolution. And once it got to the blackmail part, I was like, okay, I'm out. Like, this is kind of silly. I'm fine with like knowing what the ending is going to be because I know what the type of movie it is. So by the time it got to that, I was like, all right, well, exactly what I thought would happen happened. But that part just felt tacked on. It just felt unnecessary. I was like, all right, man.
I think that was they were trying to turn around the gold digger gender role onto a man and talk about that. But it didn't, there wasn't enough time. And it was based on, I just looked it up, it was based on Gran Calavera. So like the plot of that movie is that they actually do go broke because a bunch of people in a family are leeching off of one person who made it. So they actually do go broke and they have to learn how to make it and survive again.
So in that movie, it's real.
It's real. But in this movie, they make it silly by making it like a fake thing because you see them suffering and losing all their shit. All the meanwhile, you know, they're not actually losing anything. Yeah. And so that when the dad's always just like telling them, what do you think, that I eat lobster every day? And then he's like laughing behind their backs.
Because he is eating lobster every day.
Yeah, he is. All of that. And it's like funny rather than sad because you know it's not real. And then the lesson at the end is more about how the whole reason that they got into this mess was because they didn't talk as a family, and then now the solution was also lying to each other. I don't know. The reason why I really like this movie and I own it and I've watched it a bunch of times is just like more the comedy part of it. Like it's hard to find good Mexican movies that I actually like. So
you're saying Mexicans don't make good movies?
Yeah. Well,
hot take.
Actually, like
Mexicans can't make good movies.
Recently,
can
you shut up? Recently, the president of Mexico was talking about like trying to give money to people who are making movies in Mexico because the reason why they aren't very many movies is because everything is so corrupt that like the people that get to choose what gets made always choose the same people and the same actors and like shitty plots just to make money. But this is one of those movies that kind of like got the start for a few of those actors. Like the brother is Dennis in a Netflix series called Club de Cuervos. And then he like produces his own stuff now. And she, the main character, who I think she's the main character. Like a lot of it is about her. Like the whole plot kind of like revolves around her more than her brothers. She catapulted from there to being in American shows, and she's in a TV show. I can't remember what it's called, but in movies, and she's just like doing more stuff because of that. But when it first came out, it was like, wow, we're new, fresh faces. Like that doesn't happen often because people are just like used to seeing the same people that are in the in circle or whatever. Like they have the influence to get hired over and over. So like at the time, it was very different. And it's really funny. Like I like the funny bits, and I don't know if the funny bits come through with the translation. Like a lot of it is just like the way that Mexicans talk, even though the plot is very easy to figure out. Like you said, like you know what's coming mostly, but it's just like the way when they go to the courthouse and the ladies like, there's an easy way to get there, but it's longer, and there's a shorter way that is more difficult. And they're like, just tell me which way. Like those are the parts that are just really funny. And I could see it over and over, and that's still funny to me. Like they go upstairs and they're like, there can't be a patio upstairs. That doesn't make sense. And then they go back downstairs and the guy's still stuck there because his back went out. Like just like silly stuff like that. That's my favorite part. Like, of course, I don't know, like the whole wedding thing. It's just extra, but
yeah,
like
it felt tacked on.
And then didn't we watch together From Prada to Nada? Which is like...
Is she in that too?
She's in that. She's in like... She's a side character. You barely see her. She's the one that they're trying to marry off to the lawyer. But also From Prada to Nada is kind of like a similar plot. It's a little bit different because they actually lose their money, but it's like Latinos in the United States who are rich. And it's kind of like the whole thing with that is that usually Latinos are portrayed as poor. And they're like in a very different situation, and then they become poor. And it's a much worse movie, but I just like to watch it because it's like, I don't know, whenever I get tired of the other one. You just have to find things about Mexicans.
Yeah. The main character that you were saying, she was doing most of the physical comedy in the movie, which was like, it's kind of weird. Like no one else was really doing a whole lot of physical comedy. She was doing all of it. I was like, oh, all right. Well, I thought it would be spread out a little more, but okay.
She does a lot of the heavy lifting with this movie.
Yep.
When she falls, she's like on the floor and he tries to pick her up and she falls 3 more times. And you're like, he's already holding her. How's she falling still? It was amazing.
I also thought her love interest was a bit of a douche. I didn't like him.
Yeah.
Even though, like, I mean, I guess it's maybe it's because we didn't see.
It seems fair because you know that she was also shitty to him.
Yeah, but we didn't. Maybe it's because we didn't see it. But it just felt like he was being a little extra, being a jerk. It just felt like, all right, well, okay, whatever.
You're supposed to know that he has a heart of gold, even
though he's
you only see him being mean.
So you give it 5
and
stars.
it does a really good job to like portraying those dynamics in Mexico of like that's a real thing that happens. Like all of her friends are light skinned and have light eyes, and then all of the service people have dark skin and they live in a separate world. And even Margarita, like the nanny, it's like she works for this hyper wealthy family, and then when you go to her house, it's also like just pretty run down, and you're like, it seems like you guys could afford to give Margarita a better life, like, but they don't. People just don't do that.
A lot of the things that you said you enjoyed about it are pretty like universal, like colorism. That's definitely something Black people do.
Yeah, but I don't know that
America.
Americans know about that happening in Mexico.
Yeah.
That's just not known. Yeah. Like it happens a lot of places, but it's just not like, that's why I think I talked about this when I did what was that show that I did at Fuse? I talked about Frida Kahlo, and I was talking about how Frida Kahlo is actually white. She's like mostly white. Like I am mostly white. And the reason why I always want to say that is not because I think that I'm better for being lighter, but because it erases Native peoples if you think that all Mexicans look like me, because I'm just like a mix of things, and there's different mixes, and I don't know, like the people think that anybody with like brown hair and brown eyes looks Latino, when there's actually that's Spanish people that you're thinking of in Europe. But I don't know. It's also just having lived that to watch a movie where it's like exactly my life experience. They don't exist much. That's why I like it.
Cool. 5 stars?
Of course.
You gave it 5 stars?
I mean, come on.
I'm going to give it 3 stars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's rude.
Well, you know, that's just, I got to keep it real.
Well, I'll give it 7 stars then, and it'll even out.
Listen, people come to this podcast for my realness, and I got to keep it real.
I think that sentence should have gone, people come to this podcast, my realness.
So the other movie that we started watching was Rifkin's Festival. And you just turned on Tubi and it was playing.
Yeah.
And you were like, all right, let's keep going with this. I thought Tubi had movies that were like constantly playing and you can like open it up and it'll be in the middle of the movie.
I think they changed the way it works, or maybe the way it works on like the internet because I had the app on the TV before, and that was different. I opened Tubi because I wanted to watch a movie called Metropolis, because it's set in the year 2026, and it is now 2026. And I've never seen it, so I wanted to see it. But then I opened Tubi and Clock Watchers was playing, and it was Lisa Kudrow and Parker Posey and Toni Collette, like all these people, but young. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I started watching that instead. I forgot what I was doing. And I really liked that movie. We should have watched that together. I really liked it. Have you seen it?
No, I've never seen it. It is one of those movies that kind of went under the radar, maybe because it is all women. And I believe it's directed by a woman. It's like from the late 90s.
Yeah.
So it's kind of one of those things that kind of went under the radar. I think it was an independent movie, but it probably should have gotten more love than it actually did.
It's really good. I liked it. And it's like
it is one of those, it does feel like one of those movies that people are like revisiting, like we should watch
recently.
this. We should, pay more attention to this movie. I think also because like Lisa Kudrow, she's doing the comeback. literally on HBO, the comeback is coming back again. So that's what a lot of streamers are doing right now. Like anytime anyone has a movie, then you'll see all of their movie, like they're promoting or on another streamer, but that doesn't have that movie, they'll have like all the other movies. Like maybe you can't watch this. Like they'll have something on Apple TV.
Yeah, we don't have anything else, but we have the Clock Watchers. Yeah. You can watch that.
Yes,
I really liked it.
I assume it's a workplace.
Yeah, it's like early 90s girl version of Severance. At the end, you're just kind of wondering like, how did they get me to root for the wrong person for so long? And then it's also just like really realistic in that it's four girls that become really good friends because they work at the same place, but they're all temps. So the whole time you know that there's no way this is going to be their reality for like many years or even months, you don't know. And then sure enough, at the end, they all go their separate ways, and it was just like this blip in time where they had this really cool dynamic, and they went out for drinks after work, and it was like everybody just had a really sad life outside of their little clique. And it's almost like high school vibes, but it's work.
Yeah.
And because, especially like in the 90s, office work, it was so tedious. Like somebody has to staple these 40 things. Now you just put them, the printer can staple them for you. Like all that stuff that like doesn't happen. Can you type this? Like just scan it and the computer will like automatically, like all this extra tasks that don't exist anymore. That to me like is the right mix of people suffering, but also it's funny. Like I can't just take people suffering the entire time. You got to make it funny a little bit or like lighthearted.
So you were trying to watch Metropolis. It's interesting because Metropolis is a German impressionist film. I think it's pretty short, and it always has like when you see Metropolis, it always has this woman robot type thing. So people like watch it thinking that that's going to be like the main part of the movie, but she's in it for like 30 seconds. Like it's not the main part of the movie.
I'm sure that was an expensive 30 seconds.
Yeah, it probably was. But I mean, it's interesting because it is like, it's not one of the first movies ever, but like it is like very old. Like it is, over 100 years old. It's an interesting movie. Yeah,
I guess now it's resurfacing because it's set in 2026 and they're like predicting some of the stuff that did happen.
Yeah, it's one of those movies like I kind of watched just because like I never went to film school, but I did go through a period where I was just like watching old movies, and I did have like classes. I did have film classes. I didn't I wasn't a major or anything, and it was just one of those movies like, yeah, you should, watch this. And I watched it I watched it once years ago, and I don't think I've watched it again. So I would probably like appreciate it more now if I watched it now, but I don't know. Maybe so. I should probably check it out again.
We should rewatch it tomorrow.
Well, but you haven't seen it though.
No, because I started watching Clock Watchers.
We'll rewatch it. And then so we haven't finished Rifkin's festival.
Yeah.
But you enjoyed it though.
I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. I feel like I kind of know, but also it's going to be inconsequential. I feel like it's just going to be like, and the end.
It is. So while we were watching it, I was like, this seems like a ripoff of a Woody Allen film. I was like, I wonder who this is that made this fake Woody Allen film. Then I looked it up, and it is Woody Allen.
It's himself.
He released it in 2020. So I guess it kind of slid under the radar. It just seems like a movie that he's done a million times, but it is a testament. You're not going to hear me saying a whole lot of nice things about Woody Allen. But
what?
But it is a testament to how good of a director he is that he can kind of remake the same movie that he's been making a million times and it's still watchable. Like it wasn't, to me, it wasn't like amazing, but like there's like still interesting shots. Even when I thought it was an imposter, I was still like, well, whoever this is still pretty good. Like
they do know what they're doing, but it
is derivative.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even the idea, like he has like vignettes of older movies, and that go throughout this movie, and he's done that before. He's done where he's like has different scenes from other movies that he enjoys, and even just the idea of it. The main character is a nebbish Jewish older guy that's in love with a beautiful woman that's which is almost every Woody Allen movie.
That's his experience.
Every movie that he's been in. So I don't know. It just felt like
that's his truth.
Yeah, I guess. I'm just like, why? I don't know. You can chill. Like we don't need any more Woody Allen movies. We're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even know he was alive. So.
He's almost done. He's about wrapping it up. I don't think he's gonna make it to the next decade.
Jesus. We watched the latest episode of Abbott Elementary, where Quinta kind of brings back her bit about girl who's never been on a nice date.
Yeah, we were talking like it took like 3 seasons for her to like circle back into that. I'm pretty sure people that are fans of the show were definitely talking about that when it happened. Like we're not keeping up with the show, so it's been, I don't know, it's probably been.
No, I think it just came out.
Is that the most recent?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought I would hear people talking about like that idea that she like circled back to this original joke.
I feel like she had a pretty clear vision for Abbott Elementary season 1 and 2. And then when season 3 started, it was kind of like, where are we going with this? Like it was that's why they end up in the mall. And it's just kind of like new characters get introduced. And then we lose those new characters. We were just like, what's her vibe now that she has a stable relationship? And things are
going well.
Things are getting kind of too good to.
She's becoming like
riff off of.
Yeah, she's becoming very.
She's a more confident teacher.
Yeah, she's a confident teacher.
She I think I heard her talk in an interview about like Janine's outfits are even getting less outrageous because she's
a fashion club. She's doing the fashion club.
She's doing the fashion club. Although they always roast her, which is really funny. But like she's just becoming like she still dresses like herself, but it's more put together. It's just like everything's just kind of more figured out. And in this last episode, we spent a lot of time with them at their house or at her apartment, and then at the new apartment that they have together. But so much so that for a minute I was like, wait, is this like a home? This is a home sitcom now? Like we're just at home?
But like all this whole season.
I could see that being a spinoff though, like Janine and Eddie.
But it seems weird that it could, I don't know if it could be a spinoff if it's still the main character. I don't think you could spin off the main character. It would still, unless you consider Abbott Elementary to be the main character.
I think Abbott Elementary is the main character. And them as a couple, like one of those sitcoms that is like the two names of the couple.
Yeah. Is it Gregory Eddie or Eddie Gregory? I forgot.
Oh, they do call
I think it's Gregory Eddie. I think it's Gregory Eddie.
And just because their dynamic is so interesting with him being minimalist and her having like all the shit.
Yeah,
her ex-boyfriend's cube. I still don't know what that is.
It's a GameCube. It's a GameCube. It's a video game.
The blibbity bloops.
It's a game. I'm pretty sure they don't make GameCubes anymore.
They do, but now they're completely different.
Yeah. Every episode is basically like, okay, we know these characters. Let's just put them in different places. Like there was one episode where they were at the DMV.
they've gone camping, they've gone to the mall, they went to the DMV. There was a time when they had to go and speak for the school at like some congression, like to ask for the money, like.
Yeah. But I feel like that had to have happened in real life, as far as, you know, a school having to have school at the mall or something like that, because it just seems like a really big leap. And also she does seem to like get all of the school stuff from things that really happened.
Well, her mom's a teacher.
Yeah. So it seems like a lot of that was based on real stuff. And that seems like a really, really big, huge leap to just be like, yeah, 1 year, we had to move an elementary school to a mall.
No, I don't think that's actually ever happened. I think that was just trying to make it. I mean, like, things that happened are like they'll have to close a school, and so they merge two schools together, so now they're crowded. But I don't think they would just pick a building. Like that happens here. While they were remodeling Franklin, everybody was at Cleveland or whatever it is, but they're never gonna just send them to an abandoned Safeway or some shit.
Yeah.
We do love Abbott though. I mean, I love Abbott. You don't?
I don't know. This season feels like it's all right. Like this, I'm glad I didn't start on this season. I'd love the show when it first started out. Yeah. But by this season, it seems like they're running out of gas, and I don't know what, like by the fourth season, unless something, this feels like a transitional season. Unless something interesting happens by the fourth season, I can't imagine this show going on much longer. Or if it does, it's going to be a shell of what it used to be.
Yeah. So
you had a show a couple days ago, actually, at Peacock. Is that the name of the place? Peacock. How'd that go?
So it's called Astro Babes. My first time doing it, and I tried my one joke that I have about astrology. And they liked it. Okay. Even though it makes fun of astrology.
Yeah. But you've tried it other places and it didn't work, right?
I said it very differently this time.
Okay. So I think cleaned it up?
Yeah. I was doing the punchline and then the setup, I think. Or I wasn't setting it up correctly. I don't know. Like now I wait. Anyway, I flipped it. It worked, and I was just very surprised because people that go to Astro Babe are pro astrology. Yeah. Which, like, I'm not against people.
That's kind of I'm assuming that's the basis of the show, right?
Yeah. So you do a normal set, and then the crowd tries to guess your sign after your set. Did I tell you about this?
No. I know that it happened just because I've seen.
It's in the name.
Yeah, it's in the name, but also people were. When she posted about it, it seemed like people were like guessing their signs. So it seemed like a thing that was happening. So I assume that's
I think the thing that you saw is I posted a video of me, like what I do backstage, and I was just like twirling in the green room. But the audio, you can hear that they're on stage talking about someone else's sign. They're saying Gemini or something. And then somebody commented Gemini, and I was like, no, I'm a Libra. But I knew that they were talking about the sound. So I do my set, and then they try to guess what sign I am, and they go with Capricorn and Aries. And then they said it's because I'm divorced, Capricorn because I'm divorced, and Aries because it seems like I do whatever I want. Which I thought that was...
What does being divorced have to do with being Capricorn?
I don't know.
I mean, I feel like every sign has to be divorced at some point, right?
Especially if it's the other way around and like every Capricorn is divorced. Like that just seems like a lot of work.
Oh, man.
That was funny though when they're like, because you seem like you do whatever you want. And I'm like, it does seem that way, doesn't it? Like trying to guess someone's sign based on their stand-up, which is like when you are not 100% who you are, because you have to put on a stage persona to an extent, even though a lot of those things are true. It was just very difficult for them to guess. I don't think they were going to. That wasn't going to happen. Yeah. And then I told them I'm a Libra, and everybody was like, what? Libras are balanced. And I'm like, I spent all morning sledding with my daughter, and now I'm doing a comedy show. How is that? It doesn't get more balanced than that. I'm fucking killing it at all the things. I'm balancing. I was like, I got really aggressive about it. I'm like, I'm balanced as shit. Okay, look at me. Look at this shit. I stand on one leg. so good at being balanced. Like, I don't think Libra is a really easy to guess. Like, how are you gonna know that I have a hard time making decisions? Like, it's based on seeing me on stage. Like, whatever I asked them, like, what's the thing that would have told you that I'm a Libra? And they were like, well, Libras have like a hard time making decisions. And I'm like, well, you don't know how many times I almost didn't come to this comedy show. I got home from sledding and you're like, you have a show tonight. I was like, fuck, I forgot. No. But then I got dressed and it was fine.
Which happens every show that you had.
Which is very Libra of me.
You do that
apparently, every time I forget. And then I'm like, oh, it's fine. There's a meme that I love that is like, just a little rat that's like, I'm sorry for overreacting. I didn't realize it would be okay. It's just gonna be okay. Yeah, that's me every day.
Yep.
But it was a fun room, even though it was kind of a quieter room. And they didn't guess my sign, but I do it again.
I did Defiant Joy at Covert Cafe, which is a small place that apparently it fits 25 people. Apparently.
That's what we hear.
That's what I hear. 25 people. And it was, I don't know, maybe 15, I guess. So it was, almost capacity.
I'm like counting in my mind, like, I feel like it's less than 25.
Yeah, it feels like less than 25. Yeah. But like apparently like someone that's coming to town is like, yeah, Covert Cafe fits 25 people. I'm like, I mean, that's a very tight room if it's 25.
I'm opening for James Hernandez there next month. He's the one that is coming out from LA, and I'm doing practicing his hour there.
Yeah, I'm doing his show in LA. I'm doing Chatterbox next Sunday.
He runs
a week. Yeah, a week from today, I will be in LA. That's doing right. That's Chatterbox. The other thing.
You just up and left.
Up and left. Well, by the time this airs,
that's gonna be the name of your new special.
Up and left.
Up and left. Oh. But I want the drawing to be like.
Up and left. Well, I mean, left. Upper left.
Yeah. Oh, that's something else.
There you go. So I'm doing Defiant Joy and Covert Cafe. And I open up by saying, so my partner told me that she loved me for the first time. And generally speaking, like I've done that, a bunch of times. And generally speaking, people will either clap or like, oh, yeah, great. Good for you. But they did absolutely nothing.
So you're like, nothing. Do I continue with this?
So
premise?
I was like, okay. And then I like kind of called him out and I was like, okay, normally people like clap for that. And then so I gave him a second chance to even give me like a fake clap. Just give me anything. Nothing. They doubled down on nothing. They just gave me. And so the entire time I'm doing my set, I'm like, did I say it wrong? Like, did I say like my dog instead of my partner? Like, what did I, did I say like,
no, if you had said my dog, then that would give you cheers.
Then they would have got happy about that. Like, oh no. So the entire time I'm in my head, like, did I say the wrong thing? So I was off my whole set. I was just off. Luckily, it wasn't a very long set. And then also it was at 5 p.m. And the sun, there's a huge window in this place. So the sun is like
yesterday was a really sunny day.
Shining directly in your face. And it's just weird to be doing comedy at 5 p.m., but also at light, when there's light outside. It was very weird, but I don't know. I mean, it was fine. It went okay, but I didn't love it. I felt very awkward. The crowd seemed like maybe they got some of it, maybe they didn't. I don't know, but it just I was a little off my game at that show because at the top it just kind of they kind of like screwed me up at the beginning. Like I was kind of off. And then also it was just the middle of the day. And it just,
I like that joke, but I feel like it's silly and like maybe it needs to be buried more into like, because you're not a silly comic usually. So like it just kind of takes you off guard when you do it later on.
So if I'm doing serious stuff and then I do that, then because I do a lot of setup punchline. So if I say that, I feel like if I say that up top, then I mean, like if I say it like in the middle, when I first say that line, they're going to be expecting a punchline directly after that. And there is no punchline directly after that.
Yeah, that's why I think it's better.
But I think that if I say that, they're not going to give any reaction. Because at the beginning, if they don't know me and I say that, generally people are like, okay, yeah, great. That sounds awesome. Let's keep going. But if I do that in the middle, they're going to be waiting for a punchline.
I disagree.
Okay.
You'll have to try it next time.
But every other time I've done it, In any other room, that's how it goes.
But it's never been at the top, has it been?
Yeah.
You always open with it?
I usually open with it because it's something that just kind of like warms up the room a bit. Usually.
I mean, it's fairly new too, though.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to say it a different way because there are people in the room that know me. So it doesn't make sense for me to be like my partner told me she loved me for the first time. So I'm going to like rewrite and say it a different way from now on. But I think it'll still work. Okay. So yeah, that was my show. And then later on, we went to Martini Tonight.
That was a 5 p.m. show.
That was a 5 p.m. show.
And then 5 hours later.
And 5 hours later, we went to your show.
We went to my show at 10. It's a big gap there.
Which is when the show should start.
Which is when a show should start, especially when it's a sunny day. In Portland, we just need to decide what time shows start, depending on what the sun.
But the thing is that, like, I was surprised. Like, people actually, more people were at the show than I thought there would be. I've definitely been at Covert Cafe shows where nobody shows up.
Yeah, not even because people don't come, but just because it's weird to do a show.
Later on, 10 o'clock, we went to your show. And how was Martini Tonight?
You were there. You tell me. Tell me that it was really fun.
I thought your set went good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Half a dozen people came up to you after the show and told you that you were a treasure. You were amazing. Yep. You had a great dress on. It was powerful. It changed my life.
Yep. And then I went home and I cried. Yeah. It wasn't good enough. I could have done better. That's me after every show. And that's how you stay on your tippy toes.
Yeah, but you also had just taken your medication. So it hadn't kicked in yet.
After 2 days of not taking
After 2 days of not taking your medication.
It was a weird day all around because I woke up at noon. Then we went for a 2-mile walk to have lunch. And then we came back home. And then I watched Clock Watchers. And then I fell asleep for 2 hours again after waking up at noon. So I slept like 14 hours. And then I woke up and I had a coffee and a cookie. And then that was like at 8. And then at 9:30, we left for the show. And I was like, what days? What just happened?
Yeah.
I live a very rough life. That was just a normal Saturday for me. I felt a little out of it. And I wanted to try more new stuff. But the way that I like to try new stuff is like it's mostly new stuff, but I try to sneak it in with the old stuff because it's still a show. People pay to be here. I don't want to like not have a good set. But the bit about waiters, they didn't like.
The bit about waiters, I think it's because that's not. I mean, say the premise of the joke again.
So I can just tell you the whole joke. Yeah. It's some people will have you believe that I'm an asshole because I was never a waitress. I've never had a job in the service industry. And I think those people need to check their privilege because they can't imagine anything worse than working in the service industry.
See, I think it's because the reason why people would say that you're an asshole because you haven't had that job is not because it's the worst job. It's because it's a job where you have to literally serve other people. So you have to like care about other people. So I think they're just not agreeing with the premise.
So what I was thinking about when I wrote that joke is that I used to be an au pair, which means like you're a live-in babysitter. So I pretty much like raised 2 sets of children for a year each. That's way worse than being a waiter because you get like barely any breaks. You're just kind of like parenting someone's kid. And I've been thinking about that more recently because my kid is getting to be the age of the kid that I had at the time. So just like comparing kind of like her childhood with their childhood. And I had a kid who was in public school in outside New York in like the suburbs of New York. And kind of like their life and their existence was very different. And then I had another 8-year-old who went to private school in the Upper East Side in Manhattan. And like those two are so far apart from each other, even though they're like an hour drive from each other. And then my kid living out here, going to a private school that is kind of, it's not public school, but also it's not like Upper East Side bougie. it's living a totally different existence than those two kids separately. And then just kind of like how that relates to me as the person who like took care of all three of those kids in various ways. Of course, like my kid, I take care of a lot more. But like the first family, like their mom worked from 6 to 6. We never saw her. Like these were my kids for a year. Like I just took them. And I guess I was thinking about that. And then I took Isabel snowboarding, and we went to a couple of restaurants while we were there, and kind of like the vibe of the waiters at the ski lodge, because they know that people are mostly there for the views. Like people are only like, some people are not staying at the lodge. They just go to the restaurant because they have like beautiful windows and they get hot chocolates and they just like sit there for 2 hours in a row and not do anything. And the vibe of the waiters is very different than the vibe in like a busy restaurant in Portland. And I don't know, like thinking about like what must it be like to have this job here made me think about that I've heard before people say that like if you never had a job as a waiter, then you probably don't know enough about life, or like you must be like kind of asshole that like expects a lot from waiters or whatever it may be. Then that I would much rather have had the opportunity to work as a waiter in a ski lodge as a teenager than be an au pair, because that was fucking rough. So that's where all that comes from. But it's too long to explain to people. That was like, I don't have 20 minutes.
The reason why people say you need to work in service, I mean, maybe they mean, maybe waiter is like one of the things. It's like server is one of the things, but like I just think a service job period is what they mean. But I just don't think they agree with the premise, so they don't follow the joke. I think that's what it is. So there you go.
I think I saw somebody being like, if you never had a job as a waiter, then you probably don't understand why your fucking dipping sauce is not so important or something. Like I don't know. I feel like I have empathy for waiters. I'm a good person. But I don't know. I do like that premise, and I want to figure out a way. I have never talked on stage about being an au pair. But it just felt like too much to get into all that.
What's the book that you finished reading?
I read A Small Place. It's about Antigua, which is an island that was colonized. It was interesting just to see how this person writes, which is just thoughts and anecdotes. It's not a long book. It's like 50 pages or something. It's small.
Oh, wow. That's
it's like novella. a little thin book. But the whole thing is about corruption and stories about growing up in Antigua and the monarchy, and like just kind of like a lot of stuff that is maybe more known now that maybe it wasn't at the time that it was written. But I read it at the ski lodge, so it was a weird read at the ski lodge.
So on a podcast a while ago, I was talking about hadn't finished reading it, but I was reading Mother Mary Comes to Me, which is a book about a woman who has a difficult mother who passed away. I didn't enjoy it as much as like I hoped I would. Maybe it's because her mother had passed, and you think about people who have passed in a different way. This woman that was like terrible, but also people apparently loved her. But I didn't get like, okay, well, why do people love her? Also her dad too. Her dad was like this alcoholic, always like trying to trick people for money, but people loved him. He was just one of those lovable people. And maybe it's just me because I'm not the type of person that would accept that. Like if you're going to be a jerk to someone, then I'll just like, I don't need to be here. I can be somewhere else. So maybe it's more me. I'm just not that type of person that's going to like accept that. So I don't know. That was my issue with how the book was written. Also, she kind of writes like everything. She kind of like stumbled upon everything. Like she just happened to be she was writing a movie. She just kind of fell into writing movies with someone. And then she started writing this movie and it didn't work out. And she got upset about the fact, the how the movie was going. So then she went home and then she started writing this book that she actually did want to read. She did want to write. She wrote that and became a bestseller, and she became a millionaire.
The author?
Yeah. She became a millionaire after that. You know, it's just like, and she went through a lot of like terrible, like she was also a political activist. A lot of people in the government didn't like her. So she got like a lot of threats on her life and everything, but she kind of like sailed through everything. She got married, had two not adopted kids, but like stepkids. And then eventually she just kind of left because she felt like, you know, she didn't want to, I mean, it's kind of a complicated story, but she just felt like the home that they were living in, she didn't want to be in anymore. So she just kind of left, and they were separated for years. And then they finally did get a divorce, but they were still married and everything. It just felt like she kind of like sailed through life and like nothing really, I don't know. I didn't get really any tension or anything. It was just like, it all seemed like it clearly wasn't easy because it seemed like she went through a lot, but she kind of like sailed through everything. And it was the same thing with like her relationship with his mother. And I don't know, maybe that was the point that, you know, she was able to deal with his mother. So she was able to deal with all these other things. I don't know. But
maybe it's what you were saying at the beginning, like now that she's passed away, it's a bit of a rose color glasses. Like maybe there's stuff that she doesn't want to share, and so that's missing. Yeah.
So I don't know. I didn't love it. It was fine. It didn't make me want to read any of her fiction.
Yeah. Now you're just mad.
Yeah, I'm just mad now. So I'm currently reading a book called The Rest of Our Lives, which I'm on the fence about right now. I'm about like 3/4 of the way through. And it's about middle-aged.
What's your rule about when you get to stop a book?
I think like 30%. So I'm still reading it just because I just want to see how it ends. So it's about a middle-aged white guy. His wife had an affair like 7 years before. And he said, when this happens, okay, well, when the kids are grown, I'm going to leave you. And now the kid is grown and he's thinking about whether or not he wants to leave. He takes his daughter off to college and then he just keeps driving. And now he's on a road trip and he's visiting like people from his place. He's on his way to see his son who lives in LA. They're on the East Coast. The people around him are obviously other middle-aged white guys, but they seem to be a little more conservative than he is. One guy, he wants to sue he works for the NBA and he wants to sue the NBA for being discriminatory to white people. So they're putting up like other characters, I guess, to make him seem more liberal, but he's not really that liberal. He's more like Joe Biden liberal. I don't know. I'm just trying to feel, okay, so what is the point of this book? Like, I want to know, why are you telling me about these other side characters? Is he eventually going to realize that he needs to like take charge of his life at some point? I don't know. I just want to see, because it just seems like he's just this really middle-aged white guy that's just kind of sailing through life. And he also has some type of medical problem where he wakes up in the morning and his face is like really like bloated. Like he has a lot of like water retention in his face, and he
sounds hilarious.
Yeah. Sometimes he'll like black out just because like he stands up too fast, and all his doctors tell him, "Oh, you're just getting old. That's just what happens." I'm like, all right. So eventually, I'm assuming that his medical diagnosis is going to come into play at some point. I don't know. It just feels like, well, why does everybody like this book? That's the only reason why I'm continuing to read it. Like I said, I'm at 73%.
Yeah, need
done
to
with
see
the
what
book.
happens.
So I'm almost done. I'm
still nothing has happened.
Yeah, nothing other than him driving across the country.
Maybe that's just people vicariously living their dreams of just driving off.
By the time our next episode happens, I'll have an answer probably.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good.
So I'll say, we'll finish it up and see how it goes. Maybe by the end I'll be like, wow, that was amazing. That twist at the end.
5 stars.
5 stars.
The part where his whole body turned puffy instead of just his face, and then he just floated away. I love that.
Wow, it was really a beautiful metaphor.
He was free.
The way we float through life. Yeah, like he finally got free. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
I want everything to be magical realism.
Yeah. All right. Well, my name is Lee H. Domer.
I'm Andrea Menchaca.
Thank you for watching Anxiety Twins. See you next time.